Hi everyone, Nancy that Treasure Hunt, and welcome to Wednesday Night Live. This is my regular live Wednesday, but it also includes the watch hours. And I'm just like, unplug this other phone because it was getting warm. My goodness gracious. Is that because it? Oh, then I hit the bomb button. Ah, it shouldn't be. Oh my goodness. This is the most. You ever had a phone that just acts stupid? That's just the only word for it. Whatever. So, lucky. We found my ring. It's my mother/grandmother's ring. So, I've had this for 11 years. That was my Mother's Day gift, and Anastasia was one. And I'll have to take a picture. I'll take a picture tomorrow and show y'all where it was at. Just a lot of stuff going on this afternoon, this evening. Hey, my scrap family. Good to see y'all. So cool to y'all to be here tonight. So, hi chat, hi TV watchers, hi replay watchers. So there was Miss Carla and Mrs. Walter Job, which is Walter and Carla Job, Rebecca and Misha, and our Musgrave Family Farm. Welcome into the channel. So tonight, I've been getting sleep, but I'm just like, I just feel, I've been dragging all day long. So that's just been one of those things. But okay, let me explain like this. You've ever, especially in your younger years, in the military people, I know y'all understand. You felt like you've been up for 24 hours straight, 36 hours straight, and Rebecca's making up Christmas cards, and everything feels numb, and you feel like you're walking around like a zombie, like you know what's going on, but you're just not really coherent about what's going on. That's how I feel. And I've been getting sleep and everything, so I'm just like, what the hell is that going on about? I don't know. Who knows? So, yeah, I got up at 8:30, 9 o'clock today. Lay down, had a 2 hour nap, got up, felt good. Then around 8 o'clock, so I was like, oh goodness, even Anastasia took a nap. So I was like, okay, something weird going on. However, some of these things things I follow on Instagram. His name is Adam. He said during Jesus's time and everything that every 90 minutes they would take a 5 minute break. And that's why you see like in the movies or TV shows or whatever, like in I guess The Chosen, but you would sit there and they would show like they were sitting there and the priest was sitting there for 5 minutes, like they're doing meditating or whatever for 5 minutes. He says what it is. It's scientifically proven that every 90 minutes, if you take a break, it calms your mind, resets it, and you have clarity to do whatever your tasks are to do. I tried that for a week, and I felt better doing that and everything. So I haven't done it for the last 4 or 5 days. So I think, okay, maybe wait a minute here. So I have timers on my phone for every 90 minutes, and 6 o'clock is one of them, and then 8:30. So I sit here, and Rebecca, she's so funny. She'll go, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, give me the 5 minutes." Because I'll close my eyes on my head. I'll put my head down like this, put the timer on my phone for 5 minutes. It's up. And I'm telling you, it really is a difference. Get my Vicks Tiger Balm, Vicks Vapor Rub. It's all the same. Because every night it's at this time. Hey, Jane Doe, how you doing? Oh, goodness. Whew. So, excitement. I found my ring. I found my ring. La da 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 da. La 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 da 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 da. I have finished making the other blue box for the these are like to be the X and O's, whichever one. I haven't not put the ties in. And tonight I was supposed to put the blanket together. I just really don't feel like doing it. Because all day long. Alright, so instead of my eyes being dry, which I've been using this, which has been helping, this eye has been watering. And I'm like, and I have a feeling it's because we've been waiting for packages all day long. So we've opened the door, closed the door, open the door, close the door, open the back door, close the back door, open the, so it's stirring up the air and the dust and everything. So I thought I think is what it was. So tonight we had the chicken. So because and I did have potatoes. So I was like, so my eyes started water. So I asked my son later on, did he put what spices did he put on there? Any hot spices or anything? He goes, no. He goes, he got some new cumin from Sam's Club and Walmart. And he goes, they must have had to switch suppliers, I guess, manufacturer, where they got it from. He goes, because the color is different than the other one. And I'm like, okay. So I say, no hot spices or red pepper flakes. He goes, no. I said, because I didn't have a reaction. Because this I had already been watering, and we were talking to Anastasia about her doctor and everything, and they were explaining to me that your body, this is how the doctor explained it to her, her allergist, to them. Your body, when you have something that it doesn't like a food allergy, it always has certain mechanisms in your mind and everything for a reaction, because that's your body guarding itself and protecting itself. Anastasia's is itching. Mine is itching. So so that's how they explain it. Because when she has dairy products, her mouth itches, her tongue itches, her ears itch, and everything. And that's just a sign to let you know, hey, you done ate something that you normally don't eat and you're not supposed to be eating or whatever. And this is the warning, like, the warning sound going off in your body. So, and we were talking about the different doctor's offices that we've been to and everything, and how they switched, So, and I was like, because we have talked about it. I mean, the same group that I originally going to, they go to the specialist that's further away. So I was like, after the first of the year, I'm going to go to somebody else differently and talk to them, because yes, this is cleared up. I mean, it's going away. And then my son goes, it just looks like a big bruise. I said, well, it's just the skin discolored now, and it's going to take time for it to go down. I said, but it shouldn't have been this long, because this one's all cleared up. This side's all cleared up. So with the itching, okay, outside allergies, I understand it, but it's winter time. There's no pollen. The trees aren't in bloom. We don't have Bermuda grass, mold, that's a possibility and everything. And it's like, you know, so we got to talking because they had the bubble, bubble tea, bubble tea, whatever. But they didn't offer me any because I said it's made with tapioca pudding, which is fine. But the way they use it to make the tapioca is made with gelatin. And we all know gelatin, like jello gelatin, and gelatin you use to make jams and jelly is made from pigs and beef with the bones or the what stuff, the jello, the fat. So they didn't want me to have a reaction to it and everything. So that's why we discussed, going somewhere else and maybe going to a different lab to have lab work done and everything. So it's like, because Anastasia goes tomorrow to the doctor and her doses go up to 3. So by May, by May they want to be at 8. And that way, it's the maintenance phase. That's the build up phase. The maintenance phase is eating something dairy every day after she gets to where doing the things that you need to do. All right, so I'll look at that later. And it's like really exciting because that way, cheese sticks. We can make dairy-free cheese sticks, but it's still expensive. So, mozzarella sticks like you get in a restaurant, and the long cheesy stuff that you get to eat. Pizza from Domino's, donuts from Dunkin' Donuts have milk in it. Pizza rolls, sometimes those quick meals and everything. We used to get fish sticks, those breaded fish sticks in the store. Got milk in them. So there are things that, like her dad was explaining to her. It's not that. All right, so when she gets to get to May of next year and she has milk every day, it's like you still don't eat milk products all the time. Like you don't drink milk all day long because milk can bind you up and everything, or eat cheese all the time because it can bind you up. But he goes like you eat a cheese stick and then you still have your other meals and everything, and then maybe have another cheese stick or something another like that. So we were just having getting excited and everything. So because she goes, I want to be a regular kid. I was like, yes. And we'll still use almond milk, but she'll have the organic horizon milk, that she can drink. Because she asked, she goes, can we still get the almond milk? Because I really like that. And they go, oh yeah, they'll still get that and everything. So, we're looking forward to doing a lot of things. Especially like going out to eat. The options will really open up instead of ramen and Chinese and sheets and maybe another like Wendy's. But Wendy's we don't like that much anymore because it just doesn't make you feel good after you eat it. Nothing against the restaurant, that's just what it does to us. And then if just think about when you go out to eat Applebee's, it's Texas Roadhouse. We can't go there. Everything has milk. So, the butter, the rolls and everything. So, when you have food allergies, you're limited to a lot of things. And we're thankful it's just milk and not peanut and soy and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, I just have it on color. So, but I was trying to see what, I think it's the way I'm sitting it with the lights or whatever, So that's what been going on. I will show you all the blocks. So what I'm gonna do is tomorrow night I will put the blanket together. Then I'll show y'all what we're gonna do because I really want to start on that Santa Claus and everything. All right, so 1, 2, 3. All right, these 4, like I said. So we go play tic-tac-toe. What do you want to be, X's or O's? So I'm X's. So I'll have the blue. She'll be O's. She'll have the pink. All right, so here are the small ones. For the pink, I'll make sure I get because I think 2 of the small ones. 1, 2, 3. All right. So if she want to be O's, then she would have the pink ones. And if she want to be X's, then she can have these as X's, and that blue would be O's, whichever way that would go. So here's the pink ones, and this will go up to this 4. So you have 4 here. I might have to make some more because I think I've not calculated right. And then the 4 blue. And I have this for the middle. So actually, I need to make 3 of these. Oh, man. Well, at least I know now before I start putting the blanket together. Because then I'll be like, what in the world was I thinking? Hey, that's a song out there by that name. So yeah, because you need 3, 6, 9. So 1, I might be right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I got enough. Yeah, because you want 3 across. 3 across and 3 down. Yeah, we got enough. I was a good thing I was sitting here with y'all doing this because I'll be making more blocks and we're going, oh no, we'll get too many. Yeah, so yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll go check again. Yeah, because you gotta have 3 up or 3 across and 3 down. We've got enough. And what I'm gonna do is the yarn that's left over of the pink, like this pink and the blue, I'm gonna use that to weave the blocks together, and I'll show you all that tomorrow night. Because tonight I'm just gonna finish early. They're up early tomorrow morning. I'm just like, I feel like I'm dragging because I'm like, I almost didn't go live tonight, but I was like, this is my regular live tonight. I need to go live and talk about what I put on there. So let me look at my own live. Because they don't sit there and tell me like you would if you and I don't write down the notes. my notes are in my head, and then I write, make it out, and then I do that. All right. So 8 days of Christmas. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maize and milk and 7 swans, a swim and 6 geese and 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. And then see here, we got 8 days. Countdown's on. How y'all finished your I was gonna say grocery shopping. Christmas shopping. Well, you do need to go grocery shopping for Christmas to get the turkey and the ham or the chicken and all that good stuff. Make a figgy pudding. Bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding and bring it out here. All right, so come on. The figgy pudding, the story, tradition, and recipe of Christmas pudding. So before I start reading that, I mix up words all the time. That's okay. I call it the information age. I'm doing that since I was like 15, 16 years old. My mom used to go, oh, it's senior moments. I'm like, no, it's not. There ain't no way it's senior moments. Because I could get up and go in the kitchen or go in the other room and forget what I was doing. Oh, I was like, oh, goodness. But, yeah. 8 days till Christmas. There are some things of getting Anastasia that probably won't be here till before Christmas, but that's okay. She understands that. The same thing with her mom and dad. But sometimes that's the best part. Getting some gifts after Christmas. Now, that happened one time with my mom, maybe a couple of times, but I was 6, and I got the Baby Alive doll had come out, and you could feed it, and it had diapers and all this other stuff. So it was like a few days after Christmas, or a week after Christmas or something, she was off. We went in her, because they still had the front bedroom, in the closet cleaning up, and I found this doll, and I'm like, where is this coming from? And she goes, well, we got the wrong one, except the one that you wanted and everything. I said, I've been happy with this one too. So I ended up with, I had 2 baby dolls. So I was like, that was cool. But yeah, we would go up in there. Every year we put stuff, as we put in the Christmas stuff, we would find the stuff that she was supposed to put underneath the tree and everything. So that was happening for a long time. So I was like, sometimes that happens. But you do, sometimes life just gets busy. And even though you write down, I'll write down, and I'll have to go looking through the different notebooks to write down. So I try to organize what notebook is for what and everything. That still don't work. Because I'm still like, well, I was supposed to write in this one, but I didn't. I got to sit here and remember. I just grabbed a notebook, made a note. Now right here, where did I write it down in? And so I'm just like, that's not very organized, but I try to be. My senior year in high school, I was determined. I had those little notebooks, ones that you flip and everything. Now the little ones, I could write down my homework, because I knew by the end of the day I would have forgotten what was for homework in each class. No matter how much I tried, I was like, because I noticed at the end, more towards the end of my junior year, and I was like, okay, so next year we got all the school stuff. I did really well, writing all down. And I'll never forget this. It's like it happened yesterday. I sit there and put everything in my locker, close, didn't look at the notebook or anything, and closed the locker because I went to go do something else. And went home, left all the books at school. And when I realized, by the time I realized it was too late, you couldn't, the school was locked up and everything because, I was sitting at the supper table and like, do you have any homework for this weekend? Like, oh no, I left everything at school. So whether, whatever, I just told him I would just have to give it to him when I got it done. Hey Ruby, how you doing? Oh, that's cool. I'm glad you're listening. So, and then my sophomore year, my junior year, and my senior, I had the same dream. I would dream, I would have all my stuff ready to go in the backpack, whatever I needed to take to school and everything. And I would get to school and I would have left everything at home. I would have forgotten everything. Didn't have my notebooks, no pens, no nothing and everything. And I was just like, I have no idea what that dream was about. Before like probably my whole year, every year in high school, 9th through 12th, whatever, it was the same dream. And then mine started before then. And I was like, what in the world was that dream about? So, because we would have orientation, that's when we would get our books and everything for whichever class, English, math, history, and everything. You got your books so you could go home and use the paper bags from the grocery store to make your book covers so you could draw on them and do all kinds of stuff and make them and everything. And I was just like, I would dream I would leave everything at home. I was like, when I was like, my senior, I'm not doing this dream again. It would be, but sometimes it wasn't once. It would be like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, okay, Lord, I know you're trying to tell me don't forget my stuff, but what else does it mean? So but that one, I will never forget that weekend. And then it was the same weekend. My high school class was doing a car wash, and I was supposed to go up to the gas station we were at and help out with the car wash. Hey, Marketplace, good to see you. Help with the car wash, and I forgot to do that. And they were like, everybody asked me Monday, Nancy, are you all right? I don't think so. And I'm like, y'all, why didn't y'all call me? And they go, we didn't think about it. We got so busy. I said, someone should have called me. Y'all know where I live. Come get me or something or another. So it's like, oh, goodness. And it's just funny how some of those things you remember, and then like, how do you forget when you get up and go in the kitchen and forget what you're going to get? I don't know. Because I think I do know, because I'll be studying for like a history test. I'll be saying history test or exam or whatever, and you go get up to go get a drink of water or something other. But then you're starting to go, okay, this date and this date and this president, da 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 da, and you go, what I come in here for? I don't know. So I go back to my room because I'm going over the date, all the dates and everything. And I'm like, oh, it was water. Just go get the water, then come back and we go over your notes and everything. So sometimes that's just what happens. You're doing things and you're making a list in your head and everything, but you're going, okay, I gotta get up. I'm gonna go get me some coffee. But I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I need to do this with the video and this email and that email. And I get in the kitchen, I'm like, where's my cup? I'm like, oh, it's still on the table. Because I'm like, okay, so I come back to the table and get it. I'm like, Just go get your coffee or whatever, and then come back and sit down and write your notes. Because I still do the same thing. I'm like, oh, goodness. But it's all good, We just, have a lot of things we do. And we think we can do 100 things at one time. And I've learned a long time ago, no, we can't do 100 things at one time. Even though that's feels like 100 times things. Even though that's, I think in life we've been trained. But if we just do one and get this and do one and get it done, then you get everything done in your day. So I was curious by some of the songs I've been singing and everything. So We Wish You a Merry Christmas has figgy pudding. Well, where's the original origin of it? So it says, this is pathculture.com. Figgy pudding, the story, tradition, and recipe of Christmas pudding. Explore the history, symbolism, and traditional recipe of figgy pudding, a classic British Christmas dessert steeped in festival ritual. Few holiday foods inspire as much curiosity, nostalgia, and culinary intrigue as figgy pudding. Immortalized in carols and literature, wrapped in centuries-old rituals, and often set ablaze with theatrical flair, figgy pudding is more than just dessert. It's a festive symbol of togetherness and celebration. Discover the origins, meanings, traditions, and how to make this classic treat at home. So what is figgy pudding? Figgy pudding is also known as Christmas pudding or plum pudding. All right, so that's pretty cool because we think of figgy pudding as figs because Heather from Milk and Honey Homestead, she was making figgy pudding. So plum pudding. All right, I was messing with my volume. Make sure y'all can hear me. I actually made it myself. Okay. It is a moist, dense, and richly spiced steamed dessert made with dried fruits, suet or butter, breadcrumbs, eggs, spices, and alcohol. Despite its name, figgy pudding rarely contains figs and isn't a custardy pudding in an American sense. Instead, it's a festive cake-like treat enjoyed across the United Kingdom and wider world during Christmas celebrations. So we'll show you a picture. That's what it looks like. That's what figgy pudding, they say, it looks like. Or plum pudding. I think that looks pretty cool. I would love to sit there and make some of that. All right, so the history of figgy pudding. Meaty beginnings. Originating as a savory dish, ancient versions of figgy pudding or frumently in medieval England combined meat, grains, wine, and vegetables, more stew than sweets. As preservation became essential for surviving winter, cooks incorporated preserved spices and dried fruit, stuffing the mixture into animal stomachs for storage. Ooh, that sounds. So I'm quite sure, it couldn't be live animals. So you got to remember, back then they used every single part of the animal. You had to. They didn't have refrigerators and freezers and all like we do now. So they had to do other things to survive the winter and the cold and preserve their food. All right. Emergence of sweet pudding. By the late Middle Ages and Elizabethan times, dried fruits like prunes became fashionable, and the dish slowly evolved into something sweeter. referred as plum pudding, with plum a generic term for all dried fruits. Whether with or without meat, these rich puddings soon became party fare. Victorian celebration. The desserts reached its iconic sweet and boozy form in the Victorian era, celebrated as a core part of the Christmas feast and associated especially with the reign of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. Cultural icon Charles Dickens popularized Christmas pudding in literature, most notably in A Christmas Carol, cementing its place in Christmas lore. The famous carol, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, immortalized the call for figgy pudding in festive tradition. On these glasses. Stir Up Sunday. This is the traditional day for making Christmas pudding. Typically the last Sunday before Advent. Families gather to mix the ingredients, with each member invited to stir the batter and make a wish. Oh, that would be so fun to do. That would be cool to do. The stirring motion is traditionally done from east to west, symbolizing the journey of the Magi. Here we go. So from east to west, and you go around east to west. Oh, that's awesome. Christian symbolism. The traditional recipe uses 13 ingredients to represent Jesus and the 12 apostles. A sprig of holly is used to decorate the finished pudding, symbolizing Christ's crown of thorns. Flambeing the pudding, setting it alight with brandy before serving is said to represent the Passion of Christ. The Passion of Christ. Family ritual. Sharing and making serves as a cherished holiday ritual, binding generations together while filling homes with the aroma of spices and festivity. Oh my goodness. That is so cool. See, I think it's so fun to watch to go back and look at the history and everything. And it's just like we see they sing these songs and it's like we just sometimes don't think about it and it's like, well, where did figgy pudding come from? So you know a little bit is like in the English and everything, it's in the songs and some of the stories. But actually did have it start and what does it represent? So I was like, that was that was my thing to do tonight, besides that blanket. I'm just not doing it. The blanket. We'll do it tomorrow night. So that is so cool. I'm like, okay, so from Prohibition to popularity in the 17th century, Puritans, including Oliver Cromwell, banned Christmas celebrations and the pudding itself, associating them with pagan rituals and excess. The ban extended to Puritan communities in colonial America. Traditions returned with the Restoration by the 18th and 19th centuries. Christmas pudding had fully regained its stature. King George I was so enamored, Enamored. He became known as the Pudding King. Enamored. There you go, enamored. For demanding it at his Christmas table. Thank you, King George. What does figgy pudding taste like? Expect a dark, moist, and sticky cake with robust flavors from dried fruits, citrus peel, warming spices like nutmeg and cinnamon, and a pronounced boozy note from brandy or rum. Traditional recipes often use suet, beef, or vegetable fat, but butter is the common substitute in modern versions. The dense texture yields a melting mouthful, especially when paired with a rich, sweet, hard sauce or custard. So how is figgy pudding made? The hallmark of figgy pudding is a long, slow steaming, sometimes up to 8 hours. Okay, when Heather comes in, we gotta ask her how long it takes to make her figgy pudding. Sometimes at 8 hours. That allows the pudding to gently cook and the flavors to deepen. The finished pudding is stored for weeks to allow flavors to mature before serving on Christmas Day. Let's walk through the essential elements. It says suet of butter, breadcrumbs and flour, dry fruits, currants, raisins, sultanas, chopped dates or figs, mixed peel, candied orange or lemon peel, brown sugar and golden syrup or molasses, eggs, brandy, rum, milk, citrus zest, warming spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and ginger, and chopped nuts are optional. So I'm gonna put this in the chat. Copy. Thank you. And that way, if y'all want to go get the recipe. Hey, Cynthia, you. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. So we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Bring us some figgy pudding. Bring it right here. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring it right here. Okay, let's see here. Hey, Miss Cynthia. Alrighty. You have a wonderful evening. Get some rest. Fill my cup again. Now this is the second one. Yeah, second order. Yeah. So I've had 2 liters of water today. So that's pretty good. Usually I'm like 1 liter, 1.5. I try to get 2 in, you know. So this is from C.S. Lewis about We Three Kings. So let's see here. And he talks about this carol was the first Christmas song composed in the United States to achieve widespread popularity. Episcopal priest John Henry Hopkins wrote both the words and the music in 1857, and his family and friends enjoyed the carol so much that he published it in 1863. The story told by the carol is about the journey made of the group of magi who were following a star. Not much is known about them. Tradition tells us that they were 3 in number, but that number comes from the fact that St. Matthew records they presented Jesus and his family with 3 gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. It is likely that a large entourage accompanied them, swelling the numbers to over 100. Smudgy glasses. They were from the region of Babylon and were members of the learned class as either priests or advisors to kings. Perhaps what's the most striking about them is how they differed from Herod after Herod summoned them for a secret meeting regarding who the men were searching for. Herod is afraid. The 3 magi are eager. Both are seeking someone. Herod is seeking the one who he wants to kill. The magi are seeking the one who they want to find they can find life. Herod is seeking the one against whom to commit a great sin. The Magi are seeking the one who would forgive all their sins. So it says, Prayer, O King of nations, come, the hope and cornerstone, who makes from many one. You fashioned us in Eden, your earthen vessels save. We lay our gifts before you, the greatest gift you gave. All right, so that was the C.S. Lewis thing. It made me think of something else about the three wise men. Oh, I'll get to that in a minute. Let's see here. All right. And this is called Christmas Songs and Carols. Let's see here what they say. The lyrics to one of my favorite songs, We Three Kings, are beautiful and tell the story from birth through Jesus' arrest. The meaning behind this carol isn't just about how great he was, but also shows us what being with him means for our lives. We become royalty too. Christmas songs are a big part of the holidays. While most people know all the words to Jingle Bells and Deck the Halls, here are some lesser known Christmas carols that are worth learning. One of our favorites is We Three Kings. The lyrics are beautiful and they tell the story of a nativity in a very poetic way. But what does the song mean? Let's take a look at the lyrics and find out. The Christmas song We Three Kings was composed in 1857 by American clergyman and hymnodist John Henry Hopkins, Jr., and appeared in his Carols, Hymns and Songs collection in 1872. It is a carol that tells the story of the Nativity from the perspective of the three wise men or magi. The lyrics are very poetic, and they paint a beautiful picture of the birth of Jesus Christ. The song has been recorded by many artists over the years, and it remains a popular Christmas carol this day. Reverend John Henry Hopkins was a minister, composer, and author who was born in 1820. He is best known for composing Christmas carol We Three Kings. However, Reverend Henry John Hopkins also wrote a number of other hymns and religious poems. Some of his other popular works include O Little Town of Bethlehem and It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. John Henry Hopkins is also famous for writing several hymns and works of religious poetry. He was a very talented man, and his Christmas carols are still loved by many today. John Henry Hopkins also wrote the Christmas carol, My True Love Sent to Me. On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree. This carol is well less known than the Three Kings, but it's just as beautiful. Oh, okay, so it may not be what I thought. It tells the story of a man who is waiting for his true love to come to him. Ooh! The lyrics are very romantic and express the hope and anticipation that comes with waiting for someone you love. The Christmas song We Three Kings was originally composed as an Epiphany song. Epiphany is a Christian holiday that celebrates the arrival of the Magi to Bethlehem. The word Epiphany comes from the Greek word epiphania, which means appearance or manifestation. The Magi were believed to be the wise men who had seen a star that led them to Bethlehem. This event is known as the Epiphany and is celebrated by Christians on January 6th. We Three Kings is a song that commemorates this event and is often sung on Epiphany. The story of the Magi is an important part of his Christmas story, and We Three Kings is a beautiful song that tells the story in a very poetic way. If you're looking for a Christmas carol that is both beautiful and meaningful, look no further than We Three Kings. All right, so Let's see here. So the song talks about the three magi, the frankincense, gold, and myrrh, and so being on that, when talking about this, um, Anastasia and I were doing. I was showing her something about that was on Instagram about the frankincense, gold, and myrrh, and how what they each represent and everything. But she asked, "Hey Barry, how you doing?" But so because somebody was talking about, you know, in the Bible that Joseph was a carpenter. So that's what Jesus learned how to do. That was his trade. And he goes, it portrays Jesus as a poor man. He was rich. I'm just like, huh? Because they were talking about the gold, the frankincense, and myrrh and everything. So gold stood for royalty. I forgot what frankincense, but myrrh that was used when people died back then. They put myrrh on them because we didn't have embalming back then, so that's what they used the spices and everything for. But Anastasia goes, "That's not true." She goes, "They had to use it." I'm like, "Oh, did they use it?" And she goes, "Well, yeah." She goes, "Wait a minute." She goes, "Because when the three wise men gave it to him, she goes, God told him not to go back to the king, that doesn't go a different way. And the angel came to Joseph, um, that to tell him to go to Egypt." She goes, "They used it when I was like," she goes, "They used it when they went to Egypt." So I was like, "Oh, now that's a good Bible story. Now that's something we can all start to look and see." When the angel told Joseph in the middle of the night, "Get Mary and the child and leave and go to Egypt," they didn't have any money. I know they stayed in the inn. They used well, by the time Jesus was, when the Magi got there, the Bible, my understanding is that he's almost a toddler, because he's sitting on Mary's lap, is what the Bible tells me. So I'm like, "Hey Tom, Merry Christmas, Tom and Marie." So I'm just like, okay. So she goes, "Wait a minute." She goes, "They could have used the gold to buy." I said, "Keep thinking." She goes, "Maybe they used all that while they were there. They could have sold the frankincense. That's because frankincense is, like oil and everything you can use to do things with. Gold, it doesn't say how much gold they actually had or it was given to them. But I'm just thinking, maybe that's something good that I can sit there and go research and everything to let her know. Did they use the gold that the Magi gave them when they went to Egypt? They had to buy a home. They had to have shelter and food for the years they were there, because even though we're not told how long they were there in Egypt until God told Joseph, "Okay, you can go back," and he went back to um, Nazareth. So, you know, what are, oh, thank you, Tom and Marie. Ho, ho, ho. So that's one of the things that will be on a Saturday night Bible study is, looking to see, did, where were they in Egypt? What part of Egypt did they go? Did they use the gold to sit there and survive while they were in Egypt? That's some questions that's good to get you mind thinking about what happened. But I think this is pretty cool. I did not realize that um, John Henry Hopkins also wrote, let's see, a little town of Bethlehem, and it came upon the midnight clear. And then he wrote, my true love sent to me. So we'll look up that one. Oh, let me see if they have a search bar. Okay, let's see here. My true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree.
It's been 2 months. It's been over 2 months.
All right. Origins of the 12 days of Christmas. So you may think 12 days of Christmas being 12 days before Christmas and countdown to Christmas Day, when Jesus Christ was born in a stable. So why do we sing about the 12 days of Christmas? And do the lyrics of the famous Christmas song actually mean anything? You may stand corrected at the end of this article. So, all right. So you may think 12 days of Christmas being 12 days before Christmas countdown to Christmas. So why do we, that's the same thing as okay. Christmas prayer, it was first published in England in 1780. The song actually has a rich religious meaning. The 12 days of Christmas are the 12 days that occur between December 25th, Jesus' birth, and January 6th, the Epiphany. In Christian theology, the 12 days are the period between Christ's birth and the coming of Magi, otherwise known as the Three Wise Men. Epiphany on January 6th is also known as Three Kings Day. All right, what else? Off. All right, so the 12 Days of Christmas, however, tells the story of a young girl who receives 12 gifts from her true love on each of the 12 days leading up to Christmas. All right, so if anybody can tell me how many gifts she gives total, put it in the chat. Gifts from her true love each of the 12 days leading up to Christmas. The meaning of the carol is often debated, but many believe that the 12 gifts represent something important about the Christian faith. For example, the first gift, a partridge in a pear tree, is thought to represent Jesus Christ, the ultimate gift from God. So day one, on the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. The partridge in a pear tree represents Jesus Christ. Christ is symbolically represented as a mother partridge, the only bird that will die to protect its young. Okay, so there's something I just learned because I didn't know that. So, yeah, it's, I didn't know a partridge was the only bird. Now, I know a hen does that, but they say a partridge is the only bird that protects its young. I don't know about that. Well, yeah, we'll have to research that too. Day two, on the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. 2 turtle doves represent of the Old and New Testament of the Bible, which tells the story of Christian faith. Day 3, on the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. 3 French hens represent the 3 theological virtues of faith, hope, and charity, which the greatest of all being love. Hold on. Yeah, I have to go fix Nightbot. Something or another. So, okay, so the fourth day. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. Generally, the easiest gift to understand in this song, the 4 calling birds of the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Alright, so 5 golden rings are the first 5 books of the Old Testament, known as the Torah or the Pentateuch. So, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love sent to Steph. Now this says sent. So the original says sent. Sent to me 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Each of the 6 eggs laid by the geese represents the first 6 days in which God made the world. He hatched everything into creation. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gets sent to me 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. You need to really know the Bible and Christian faith to understand this gift. The 7 swans represent the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit: prophecy, ministry, teaching, exhortation, giving, leading, and compassion. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave sent to me 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. During the time the song was written, in the late 18th century, being a milkmaid was one of the lowest jobs one could do. So this gift represents Christ's love and grace for everyone in the world, no matter the position in society. Day 9. On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, ba-da-bum-bum, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Day 10. All right, it's either my glasses or it's my phone. I still think it's my glasses. Half and half. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. So day 10, the 10 lords each represent one of the 10 commandments, which derives from lords being in charge of laws throughout England. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. You may think the 12 disciples, but when Judas betrayed Jesus in the Bible, there were only 11 disciples left to carry the message throughout the lands. But they did later on add somebody else. Day 12. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. 12 drummers drumming is the representation of the 12 rules of doctrine in the Apostles' Creed. So that's was what I remember learning growing up about this song. My mom had 2 red candles, and they were set, and they were glass. We were never allowed to light those candles. They were it was not keepsake, but they had the whole song on there. And then that was one way that it was passed down because it was my grandmother, somebody in the family, or a relative or something. When every time they came over, they would tell us about each meaning of the 12 days of Christmas. So that's why my mom said we couldn't burn those candles. So one year, oh my goodness, like 14, 15 years old or so, or something like that. Um, we had lost power. So it may have been earlier than that because it was during one of the snowstorms. We had lost power. And she finally gave in. She goes, okay, we got to light the candles. Because that's we had, we had to have power. Or, light or something other. But I remember she also had these other candles that she put on the top of the piano. So we would take all the pictures off, and she'd decorate the top. We had an upright piano. So, and this was before she got the, I want to say Charles Dickens villages. It may be something, but that's what I called them. But she had the other candles, and all right. So they had like those swirly swirls on it and everything. One said joy, one said hope, and I think the other one said love and everything. And they were square, I would say square shaped, but they were about this tall. And each one was like a bronze color, one was like a gold color, and I think one was copper or something like that. And we would decorate the top of the piano and everything, get the snow and put all that up there and different things. And then as like 13, 14 and everything, she was able to start getting the village collection of the Charles Dickens villages and everything. Oh my goodness. That was one thing I wish no, they weren't advent candles. They was just regular candles. Let me see if I can find them. A picture. Let's see here. So we'll have to go back like in the 60s. Because I think that's when uh all right, so let me do it this way. Let's say instead of old vintage candles. That's close. Nope, that's not what I want. Oh my goodness gracious. I gotta show y'all that though. Y'all remember those candles? My aunt Chuck had blue lights on hers. She was always, everything was blue um for Christmas. Oh my goodness gracious, we had these. We had those. Wait a minute, where'd they go? Oh my goodness gracious. So now I can go back and find. La, 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 la. In the air there's a feeling Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, beating smell after smell. And on every street corner you hear silver bells, silver bells. Goodness gracious. Alright, we had those. It's Christmas time in the city. Hear them ring, ring-a-ling. We had these. Oh goodness, who talking about that? It's Christmas, da, 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 da. Through the street lights, even stoplights, blink of white, red, and green. As the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch. Listen to Santa's big scene. And above all this bustle, you'll hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Oh, I've seen things close. Mm-hmm. There it is. That is it. That's what my mom had. She had the joy and she had the other ones. My mom still has the Santa and snowman candles, the Christmas tree work when we were kids. I think the angel melted. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's what this right here. Oh my goodness. She had the whole they had that set. No, don't you dare don't couldn't nope. Couldn't burn it. It was okay, so Noel, Joy, and it was another one. Yeah, we had the Noel. The first Noel, the angels to say, wasn't certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep. On a cold winter's night, it was so deep. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the King of Israel. Alrighty, let's see here. Oh Tannenbaum, oh Tannenbaum. Let's see if we find. Let's see what this one says. Oh Tannenbaum, oh Christmas tree. The popular Christmas carol O Tannenbaum was written in Germany in the mid 1500s. The original folk song has been rewritten many times over the centuries, including O Tannenbaum lyrics in English. The song's long history is not very detailed, but it is interesting. It is also fascinating to see how one modern German version literally translates into English. It's probably not quite what you are familiar with. The history of Old Tannenbaum. A Tannenbaum is a fir tree, ditannin, or Christmas tree, der Weihnachtsbaum. Yeah, that. Hey, Karma, how you doing? Oh, I like that. Although most Christmas trees today are spruce rather than tannin fir, spruce is fichten. Rather than tannin, the qualities of the evergreen have inspired musicians to write several Tannenbaum songs in German over the years. The first known Tannenbaum song lyrics date to 1550. A similar 1615 song by Nicole Frank, 1579 to 1639, goes Auf Tannenbaum, the best Ende des Weg, des Grunts as the winter, the limbers, some, I think, I used to know how to do that. Sing it in German. And when Dan Stater took German in third grade, I thought, okay, this won't be too bad. Oh my goodness. Mine. And we learned the little words. She remembers a lot of it. I don't without looking at it. Roughly translated, these O Tannenbaum lyrics in English mean, O pine tree, you're a noble twig. You greet us in the winter, the dear summertime. Okay, that's very interesting because that's not even how the song goes. In the 1800s, the German preacher and collector of folk music, Joachim Zarnak, wrote his own song inspired by the folk song. His version used to the true leaves of the tree as a contrast to his sad tune about an unfaithful lover. I'm going to read that sentence again. His version used the true leaves of the tree as a contrast to his sad tune about an unfaithful or untrue lover. Okay, that's what I thought I read. The best-known version of the Tannenbaum song was penned in 1824 by Ernest Gebhard Solomon Anschutz, Anschutz. He was a well-known organist, teacher, poet, and composer from Leipzig, Germany. His song doesn't specifically refer to a Christmas tree that is decorated for the holiday with ornaments and a star. Instead, it sings of the green fir tree as a more of a symbol for the season. This guy left the reference to a true tree in his song, and that adjective dates back to the faithless lover Zarnak sung about. Today, the old song is a popular Christmas carol that is sung far beyond Germany. It's common to hear it sung in the United States, even among people who don't speak German. So, Tannenbaum lyrics in English. Ooh. The English version is a literal translation, not the traditional English lyrics for the song. For learning purposes, there are at least a dozen other versions of this carol. For example, a number of modern versions of this song change true, Treu, to true, True, and grün, Gruen, to green. The traditional melody of Old Tannenbaum has also found use in non-Christmas songs. The U.S. states Iowa, Maryland, Michigan, and New Jersey have borrowed the melody for their state song. Oh, good. All right, so I'm not going to even try to say the Dutch or the Dutch. Right, so Christmas tree, literal English translation, traditional melody. Oh Christmas tree, how loyal are your leaves, needles. You're green not only in the summertime, no, also in the winter when it snows. Oh Christmas tree, how loyal are your leaves or needles. Like, okie dokie. That's pretty cool. All right, so that was that one. All right. So this one is LA Phil, music and artist director. He goes, about this piece, and it's just a couple paragraphs. The symbol of the evergreen tree was too strongly rooted in the old European religions to be entirely eradicated with the coming of Christianity. O Tannenbaum, which literally translates O fir tree, is a combination of a tune from an old German folk song, Es lebt der Zimmermann. Long live the carpenter's apprentice, is what that means. And words penned in 1824 by Ernest Anschutz. That's what we were talking about and what he was. So it says, and Jim Clemens, a British choral composer, arranger, orchestrator, and singer. What? He studied music at Manchester University, where he established and directed close harmony groups and began his association with the cappella group Voices 8. He has written for numerous world-famous artists, including Tom Jones, the King's Singers, and the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra. So that's, I guess they're talking about he wrote the words that we know today. But this is, it gives a German side. Now I'm going to read the English. Oh Christmas tree, you embody our Christmas dream. Oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. You're green not only in summertime, but also in winter when it snows. Oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. So that's how I remember hearing, how lovely are your branches. Oh Christmas tree, what happiness befalls me. How often at Christmas time a branch from you gives such delight. Oh Christmas tree, what happiness befalls me. Oh Christmas tree, your visage wants to teach us. Your hope and heart of permanence give comfort and strength at all times. Oh Christmas tree, your visage wants to teach us. So that's some pretty interesting stuff. Let's see here. I thought you were about to start handing out lollies. Oh, okay, Karma, thank you. It's a marshmallow world in the winter when the snow starts coming to the ground. It's a whipped cream day. Oh, you're welcome, Rebecca. I wait for the whole year round. It's a yummy world made for sweethearts. Take a walk with your favorite girl. It's a whipped cream day. The moon's like it's a winter and a marshmallow world. All right, let me see. Let's see here. I did the one about Rudolph. Let's see here. Well, we know about white. We'll still do that. Origin. Okay, the true story behind the song White Christmas. All right. And it first aired during Kraft Musical Hallway Radio Show. Yes, sponsored by the Food Company on December 25th, 1941. The host, Bing Crosby, crooned the carol, which is soulful, longing, and sad anyway, but especially so at the time. Pearl Harbor had been attacked just a few weeks before. It turns out the song has a sad backstory too. It was written by Irving Berlin, the same composer behind Cheek to Cheek and God Bless America and many more classics. A Russian-born immigrant who, interestingly enough, did not celebrate Christmas as he was Jewish. All right, so here's Irving Berlin. I'm going to get to that one next. Berlin's 3-week-old son had died on Christmas Day in 1928, so every year on December 25th, him and his wife visit the baby's grave. Jody Rosen, an author of White Christmas, the story of American song, told NPR. So, the kind of deep secret of the song may be that it was Berlin responding in some way to his melancholy about the death of his son. Rosen said, he wrote White Christmas for a musical that eventually morphed into the 1942 classic flick Holiday Inn. So we all know that because, that's when they sing White Christmas and everything. See, I always thought the movie was called A White Christmas, but it's actually called Holiday Inn, which is pretty cool. And ended up winning an Academy Award for the song. In 1954, it was the title track of another Bing Crosby Christmas musical, White Christmas. So that's what I thought. Bing Crosby, Rosemary Clooney, Vera Ellen, and Danny Kaye in a scene from A White Christmas. See, this is what I was talking about. This is what I remember. There's a guy on IG called Sean of the South Tells the history of all kinds of songs. Yes, I follow him too. He often plays the fiddle, violin, and sings a song for us. It's so fascinating. Yes, that's what I was talking about. How he talking about Rudolph. How it was actually Montgomery Ward had made the booklet from by his daughter, Loving Deer, and and from his childhood and everything. And that's how and it was a booklet that they gave out with their catalog. That's so cool. Crosby's rendition quickly became an American favorite, even though the original radio recording was lost in the 1942 version, which is said to have only taken 18 minutes, was worn out. According to Seattle's KUOW, it was constantly requested by troops during Bing's USO appearances overseas, which gave the singer some mixed feelings. So I hesitated about doing it because invariably it caused such a nostalgic yearning from among the men that it made them sad, Crosby said in an interview. Heaven knows I didn't come that far to make them sad. For this reason, several times I tried to cut it out of the show, but these guys just hollered for it. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Clearly, they identified the wistful lyrics about holidays at home. Since then, White Christmas has been covered by everyone from Elvis to Karen Carpenter to Lady Gaga, but its timeless message remains the same. I think that's pretty cool. Let's see here. All right, so on Wikipedia, it said it topped Billboard chart for 11 weeks and returned to the number one position again in December of 1943 and 1944. So talking about Bing Crosby, his version will return to the top 40 a dozen times in subsequent years. I think everybody has sung, every artist has sung that song. Okay, so this says accounts vary as to when and where Berlin wrote the song. One story is that he wrote it in 1940 in warm La Quinta, California, while staying at the La Quinta Hotel, a frequent Hollywood retreat also favored by writer-director Frank Capra. Although the Arizona Baltimore also claims the song was written there. He often stayed up all night writing. One day he told his secretary, I want you to take down a song I wrote over the weekend. Not only is the best song I ever wrote, it's the best song anybody ever wrote. So yeah, and that goes on about different places. So we're going to do It's a Marshmallow World in the winter when the cold snow starts coming. All right, they're listening because it just popped up without me even typing it in. It's a whipped cream day. I wait for the whole year round. There's a marshmallow clouds being friendly in the arms of the evergreen trees. And the sun is red like a pumpkin head. It's shining so your nose won't freeze. Oh, the world is your snowball. See how it grows. That's how it goes whenever it snows. The world is your snowball, just for a song. Get out and roll it along. It's a yummy world made for sweethearts. Take a walk with your favorite girl. It's a sugar date. What if spring is late? It's winter in a marshmallow world. All right. right, see you later, Ruby. Introduced by Bing Crosby, of course, way back in 1950. It was a golden era for new Christmas music, and Bing cranked them out better than anyone. It was a hit, but a minor one for Crosby, and at least compared to his other Christmas tunes. The song was covered by several artists over the next several years, but it never found its lasting identity until Dean Martin recorded it in 1966 as part of the Dean Martin Christmas album. Funny thing is, it wasn't hit for Martin at the time. The album did well, as did the four other albums Martin released in 1966. Who does 4 albums in a year anymore? Despite the British invasion and the emerging era of rock and roll, Martin was one of the hottest artists of 1966. But this song, A Marshmallow World, was yet to become the Christmas classic as many think of it today. It is one of those rare songs that depends on a variety of media, mostly television, to support it as a Christmas classic. The clip from Martin's 1968 Christmas television special showcased one of the reasons why the song is so fondly remembered. Now, I have seen reruns of that show because I was like, and I was little, but I know that at Christmas time they ran them again. But you can look them up on YouTube. They're on YouTube, so you can you can see it. Here he is in classic dino form. Cigarette in one hand, a girl on each arm, and horse around with a poor performance. So signature in nature, it is a classic in its own right. You cannot watch that clip and not enjoy Martin or the kind of Christmas he represents. It's just fun. Martin was an actor, a singer, and a comedian, and completely natural and unapologetic in front of a camera and audience. He posed rare qualities as an entertainer that few stars of today duplicate. The term of Christmas music. In terms of Christmas music, Martin is a wonder. He lacks the overall dollar sales of Crosby, Como, Sinatra, and Williams. Yet his Christmas tunes are considered every bit lasting classics as that theirs are. For a song first made famous by Crosby, it is something poetic that is best remembered as coming from Dean Martin. So that's pretty cool. Let's see if they have here. Let's see here. What's some other songs? All right, so I don't have that there. Oh, no. I was just singing it yesterday. Tennessee, and he was headed for. Oh, there's no place like home. Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays. So no matter how far away you roam, if you long for the sunshine of a friendly face, for the holidays. Okay, so there's no place like home for the holidays, 'cause no matter how far away you roam, When you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays you can't be home sweet home. I met a man who lives in Tennessee. He was headed for Pennsylvania and some homemade pumpkin pie. From Pennsylvania, folks are traveling down to Dixie's sunny shore. From Atlantic to Pacific, gee, the traffic is terrific. Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays. 'Cause no matter how far away you roam, if you want to be happy in a million ways, for the holidays you can't be home sweet home. Alright, so let's see here. This doesn't tell me anything. It's the same thing. Okay, this popular Christmas tune was written by Como's frequent accompanist Robert Allen and lyrics Al Stillman, who teamed up to write several hits of the era for Como. The Four Lads and Johnny Mathis. The Four Lads and Johnny Mathis. Como recorded the song again in 1959 for his Season's Greetings from Perry Como album, which features a different arrangement and accompaniment from the Mitchell Ayres Orchestra and Ray Charles singers. Both versions are staples of Christmas compilations and are frequently played on the radio during the season. Around a decade earlier, Bing Crosby debuted I'll Be Home for Christmas, a melancholy Christmas standard about a soldier stationed overseas who dreams of coming home for the holidays. Como's tune shares the sentiment, albeit in a more upbeat fashion. His characters actually do make it home in time for the festivities, braving holiday gridlock. Gee, the traffic is terrific for a slice of homemade pumpkin pie. On December 22, 2006, the crew of the Space Shuttle Discovery on the STS-116 mission to the International Space Station started their last day in space by listening to this song. Alright. That's not the history, all of it. Okay, let's see. So this one is the TBH-B Temple Beth Ethel. I think this is Rabbi Cooper's letters. So just to give y'all a reference where this information I'm getting it from. It says in 1954, in time for Christmas, songwriter Robert Allen composed a song which became a staple in the collection of songs and music we hear on the zone throughout the month of December, unless, of course, you're going to Israel. Truth be told, however, although the song was written for Christmas, there is a surprisingly Jewish ring to it. The song itself does not mention Christmas. Rather, the song reminds us of the powerful pull experienced by people of all faiths to celebrate holidays at home. As Jews, the pull come home for our most important holidays is equally strong, and as the high holidays near, many already feel that palatable pull, reflecting on the last year and this, being home has had an additional layer of meaning. With the arrival of the sea, some of our traditional services, such as inviting people to our homes, The celebratory meals was become dangerous. Most of us are planning for smaller and more intimate meals again this year. So, yeah. Okay, so it says the celebration of our holidays at home infuses our celebration with familiarity, with things being familiar, comfort, and nostalgia. The Wizard of Oz, all Dorothy wanted to do was go home, for indeed there is no place like home. But for me, there's no better place than a place where friends and acquaintances gather. So there's no place like it that which we can combine our voices and prayers with others. All right, so that's just like a letter. Let's see here. Oh, Perry Como was the one that made it famous. The first recordings of Home for the Holidays, arranged by Joe Wiseman, was made on November 16, 1954. It was released as a single for Christmas that December by RCA Victor. The flip side was Silk Stockings, which scored in the Cashbox magazine top 50. All right, so then it says, the next Christmas, the song released again with God Rest You Merry Gentlemen as the flip side. The same recorded version was released in the United Kingdom by his master voice with the flip side, Tina Marie. This recording has appeared on many many albums over the years and remains a Christmas radio regular. All right, Robert Goulet has sung the song, his version on his one of his songs, albums, Robert Goulet's Wonderful World of Christmas. Perhaps the most iconic version of the song, other than the original Perry Como version, is The Carpenters, recording on their 1984 LP release, An Old-Fashioned Christmas. In 1987, the Muppets sang it in their ABC special, A Muppet Family Christmas. That's the Anastasia not going to watch. 1992, Joe Pass recorded a jazz guitar instrumental over the cover for his holiday album, Six String Santa. In November and December 1993, Sears aired a Home for the Holidays ad campaign using instrumental renditions of the song. Very cool. Hey Jerry, how you doing? Thank you. Let's see. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Years and snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. Christmas Eve will find me with a love like wings. I'll be home for Christmas. If dreams. The story behind the song I'll Be Home for Christmas. So in 1943, I'll Be Home for Christmas joined White Christmas to become one of America's most popular homegrown holiday songs, recorded in a rich baritone by Bing Crosby. I'll Be Home for Christmas shot to the top 10 record charts as White Christmas had for Crosby the previous year, and became a holiday musical tradition in the United States. The label on Crosby's recording credits I'll Be Home for Christmas to Kent, Gannon, and Ram. Later recordings usually credit only Kent and Gannon. The discrepancy arose from the fact that on December 21st, 1942, Sam Buck Ram copyrighted a song titled I'll Be Home for Christmas, though just in memory, although it should be noted that version bore little or no resemblance, other than its title, to the Crosby recording. So, they all have differences back then too. The song titled I'll Be Home for Christmas was also copyrighted on August 24th, 1943 by Walter Kent and James Kim Gannon Worse. Kent and Gannon revised and recopyrighted their song on September 27th, 1943, and it was this version that was made famous by Bing Crosby. Okay, so apparently the other guy wrote it first, and they wrote their additions or whatever. On October 4th, 1943, Crosby recorded I'll Be Home for Christmas with John Scott Trotter Orchestra for Decca Records. Within about a month of its being copyrighted, the song hit the music charts and remained there for 11 weeks, peaking at number 3. The following year, the song reached number 19 on the charts and touched a tender place in the hearts of Americans, both soldiers and civilians, who were then in the depths of World War II. And it earned Crosby his 5th gold record. I'll Be Home for Christmas became the most requested song at Christmas USO shows in both Europe and the Pacific. And Yank, the GI magazine, said Crosby accomplished more for military morale than anyone else in that era. I'll Be Home for Christmas was recorded by Perry Como, 1946, Frank Sinatra, 1957, and countless of other artists. And the team of Kent and Gannon continued to write songs. Although none attained the popularity of I'll Be Home for Christmas, Kent also composed the hit song There Will Be Bluebirds All Over the White Cliffs of Dover, with the lyricist Nat Barton. In December 1965, having completed the first U.S. space rendezvous and set a record for the longest flight in the U.S. space program, the astronauts Frank Borman and James Lovell hurtled back to the Earth aboard the Gemini 7 spacecraft. Asked by NASA communication personnel if they wanted any particular music piped up to them, the crew requested Bing Crosby recording of I'll Be Home for Christmas. That is so cool. So I say that's what they were playing. The astronauts asked them to play I'll Be Home for Christmas as they're coming back to Earth. That was awesome. Let's see here. We'll do a couple more. Okay, Silent Night. On December 24th, 1818, 201 years ago, all these ads pops up. The song Silent Night, so Solid Rock, was sung for the very first time. Today, this treasured Christmas carol has been translated into approximately 300 languages. In Maripafar, Austria, in the year 1816, the same year that Indiana became the 19th U.S. state. All right, that's pretty cool. So this song was written in 1816, the same year that the state of Indiana became the 19th state in the U.S. An Australian priest by the name of Joseph Moore wrote the lyrics to a song he titled "Sally Knock." 2 years later, school teacher and church organist Franz Gruber composed the music to Sally Knock and performed it for the first time on guitar, not organ, during a Christmas midnight mass at St. Nicholas Church in Oberndorf, Austria. I guess that's how you say it. Oberndorf. Joseph Moore was born in Salzburg on December 11, 1792, to Anna Schober and Franz Moore. Joseph was conceived out of wedlock, which was socially unacceptable, making him an outcast. To top it off, his father deserted his mother when she became pregnant. Anna and young Joseph suffered socially and financially. God saw fit to provide a sort of father figure and role model for Joseph, though. Johann Nepomuk Hernerly, the church choirmaster, noticed Joseph's musical abilities and made sure Joseph received an education including learning organ, guitar, and violin. These opportunities led Joseph to choosing a future in the priesthood, entering the priestly seminary in Salzburg at age 19. He was ordained in 1815 at 23 years of age. He first served in the village of however you say that, or where his grandfather lived and where he wrote the text of Silent Night. In 1816, writes Steve Huey for AllMusic.com. A painting of Mary and the Three Kings harassment on the side of the 12th century church known as Zu Azurna Leben Frau, to our beloved woman in that town, may have been the inspiration for Moore's sixth-verse poem. The line, "Holy Infant, so tender and mild," certainly reminds us of the curly blonde baby Jesus depicted on the painting. Health issues brought on the harsh climate in Malparfar forced Moore to return to Salzburg in 1817. After he recovered, he moved to Oberndorf, there befriending church organist Franz Xavier Gruber, who was 5 years Moore's senior. Gruber was a schoolteacher in the neighboring town of Ansdorf. It was Gruber who composed the music to the Christmas poem. All right, so let's see here. Okay, Solid Knock was sung by Moore and Gruber and performed by Gruber on guitar shortly after midnight on the morning of December 25th, 1818, at the St. Nicholas Church in Oberndorf, Austria. The song was sung in the church room in front of the nativity scene after Mass had already been completed. The two remained friends for many years, and rest, as we say, is history. So, and then, okay, this is interesting. The carol attracted attention. As the story goes, the organ at St. Nicholas fell into disrepair. Perhaps the reason Silent Knock was first performed on a guitar. Organ repairman Carl was called on to repair it heard the song and brought it back to his home in the Ziller Valley near Tyrol, Austria. Timothy Garton Ash of the Irish Times writes, there he played or sang it to a family of singer-sisters, the Strassers, who seemed to have something vaguely like the Julie Andrews gang in the Sound of Music. The Strasser sisters incorporated Silent Night into their repertoire as they traveled around German-speaking Central Europe, selling gloves and thrilling songs. The carol soon after became a traditional part of Christmas in German-speaking countries. Amazingly, Silent Night became Prussian, Prussian, King Frederick William's the sixth, no, fourth. No, that's the sixth. Yeah, favorite Christmas carol. It was a rough beginning for Joseph Moore, a fatherless child, an impoverished upbringing, and yet, thanks to his relationship with God, a loving mother, and talented, caring friends, Joseph was used by God to pen words that still challenge, move, and inspire us today. So there was supposed to be, I think, 6 stanzas, but there's 4 that we sing. One of the most famous stories about this carol was from the Christmas Eve truce in World War I. On Christmas Eve 1914, the Germans began singing Silent Knock, Holy Knock. And so began the Christmas truce, says ChristmasCarols.us. So, talking about the Snoopy song. Hey, Robin, how you doing? The Bloody Van Baron, shoots down Snoopy behind enemy lines. And it talks about Merry Christmas, but it was the bells from the Christmas village below. And, them singing Silent Night and everything. So that was the only time, to my knowledge, that, that was that Christmas truce that night. Okay, so it says the horror of war. So the year was 1914, and soldiers were having to spend Christmas Eve night on the battlefields of France during World War I, the Great War as it was called. Only after only 4 months of fighting, more than 1 million men had already perished in the conflict. The soldiers were scattered between the trenches, enemy troops were dug in. So on December 24th, 1914, in the middle of the freezing battle in France, a miracle happened. The British troops watched in amazement as candlelit Christmas trees began to appear above the German trenches. The glowing trees soon appeared along the length of the German front. Henry Williamson, a young soldier with the London Regiment, wrote in his diary, from the German parapet, a rich baritone voice had begun to sing a song I remembered my German nurse singing to me. The grave and tender voice rose out of the frozen mist. It was all so strange, like being in another world, to which one had come through a nightmare. They finished their carol, and we thought that we had ought to retaliate, another British soldier wrote. So we sang the first Noel, and when we finished, they all began clapping, and they struck up Old Tannenbaum, and it went on until we started up O Come Ye Faithful. The Germans immediately joined in. This was a most extraordinary thing. 2 nations both singing the same carol in the middle of a war. It is recorded that the enemy soldiers greeted each other in the no man's land that was a killing zone the day before. The soldiers wished each other Merry Christmas and agreed not to fire their rifles on Christmas Day. The spontaneous ceasefire eventually embraced much of a 500-mile stretch of the Western Front. According to the reports of soldiers at the scene, hundreds of thousands of soldiers celebrated the birth of the Prince of Peace among the bodies of their fallen soldiers. Other soldiers told how the enemies exchanged badges and buttons from their uniforms. Others shared photos of wives and children, and some exchanged addresses and promised to write after the end of the war. I thought that's so cool. The German troops rolled out barrels of dark beer, and the British reciprocated with offerings of plum pudding. So we just learned about plum pudding and how they make it. Some soldiers produced soccer balls, and a spirited match broke out as a fellow soldiers shouted encouragement. At one location along the front, the men who just the day before sought to kill one another now gathered together to bury their dead. Together with heads uncovered, they held a service to memorize their fallen comrades. A solitary voice began to sing Silent Night in French. He was joined by another voice, this one singing in German, the words of a Christmas song known and beloved by all. But the miracle of peace was temporary. Slowly, under threats from their officers, the troops returned to the trenches, and the recoils of rifles split the temporary silent night. Some soldiers admitted aiming so their bullets flew well above the heads of the enemy. So I've heard that story before, but didn't know, a lot of it. So let's see here. Okay. But it won't let me. Never mind. There you go. Nancy. Copy. Here. Paste. I'll paste that in the. It just shows that, we can live peacefully among all men. And the Bible, God tells us that. I know. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Job. Yeah. I'm going to get off here. I'm going to go rest my voice and everything. So that's some things I wanted to do tonight was just sit and talk about the songs that we've been singing, some of them, and learn the history of them. I think it's really cool, how they come about. And some how old they actually are, like in the 1700s and everything. I think that's so cool, and it just, some of that's how I think Joy and Donnie were talking about that on their live last night. Was talking about how the songs, the stories were told, but when they put the songs and words to music, you can remember it better, and that's how they pass things down for a long time and everything. Yes, I found the ring. We found the ring. I'll take a picture and show y'all tomorrow night where the ring was at, but we found it. It was in Anastasia's room. Yes, exactly where I knew it was at. So, but you had to get on your hands and knees and feel and dig and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'll take a picture, show y'all where I found it. Because you think you have to kind of like do physics, and you pull something out of your pocket and you just pull it up like this, and you standing here, it can go out kind of different, ways. So, and that's what I did. I was like, okay, I was standing here. This is what I did. Let's look. So, yes, this ring I've had for 11 years. I got this with Anastasia on her. She had turned 1, so she wasn't quite 1. She was born November, that Mother's Day. So 2014 Mother's Day, I got that ring. Then she turned 1. But I say 11 years because that's exactly how long I've had it. So thank y'all so much for being here tonight. Tomorrow night I will be putting the blanket together. I'm gonna rest my voice, and we'll be singing more songs. I'll look up some more other songs, because there was a couple more others I want to look at and see. Please be in agreement with me that I'll be able to get off all my meds. I'm speaking to my mountain and trusting God in the moment as I'm weaning off slowly. You got that right, Karma. Yes, indeed. And that's right, because God's going to heal you. And you don't have to take this meds because God's given us herbs and stuff to sit there and do it, to keep us healthy and everything. Believe me, that's why I don't take any pain medicine. Well, one, I can't have any narcotics anyway. I'm allergic to them all. I go into cardiac arrest. It stops my heart. Second of all, I don't like Motrin because it binds you up and makes you constipated. So does Advil and all the others. And Tylenol messes with your liver and stuff and everything. So they all ask me, well, what do you take for pain? I said, nothing. They go, well, how do you deal with it? I said, keep myself busy. But I have been trying the Mullen, and I got that from Horbat. But I'm going to go through my own affiliate links, Amazon, and get the Mullen because I'm out of it. But I can, from me personally, it helps. It helps with the fibromyalgia ache that I have, and everything. So yeah, and I kind of didn't take it today, and I have noticed a difference. I do know that you're taking, and I have the magnesium oxide, but then that doesn't absorb in your body that well. But for me, it does. It helps when I take it at night. It helps me sleep, and it helps with my being able to get up and do things. I'm on oxycodone, methadone, and Topamax. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. Um, Now, like I said, got the walnut. I got it from Horback. That's the walnut cloves and oh my goodness gracious, mixture without going on and get the bottle. And that's, you do it for 2 weeks, and then you're off for 2 weeks. Then you do it for 2 weeks, and amen and hallelujah. I tell you, we had some good news today. I tell you, it's like so, but that's good to help with the cleansing out your system, and that's what I did because all that uh, allergy shots and everything. I did that. I did. You know, this morning, and I was upset last night, but I was like, just it's all right. The Lord knows. So as I was going to bed, I'm like, okay, Lord, you know exactly where this ring's at. My thing was to get up and get in there before Anastasia went to class, but that didn't happen. So I waited. So all throughout the day, I was like, okay, Lord, you know where this ring is at. You're just going to guide us to this ring. It's like, all right. So I waited. Anastasia, you know, classes all day, and then hers doing her schoolwork. They come down about 3 o'clock. I start dinner, and I was like, Anastasia was in Kids Zone with her friends and everything. So then she came down, and she was telling us, I was listening. Oh my goodness, she talking about answer the prayer. Her friends and all got to talking about the Bible, and they were talking about Job. And I think it was Job. No, they were talking about unicorns in the Bible. So one of her friends, they were talking about unicorns, and then one of her friends goes, well, it's in the Bible. And so She goes, this family got their Bible, this family, all of them went and got their Bibles. And they had Bible study. And I was so thrilled. Because I've been praying for that for all year. And I said, well, the unicorn is in Psalms 92. She goes, no, we were talking about the one in Job. I'm like, they were talking about Job and everything. And I was like, I tried holding back the tears and everything. And I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Like I said, those little windows. He knows he's moving and doing things. So while they were down here, I was going upstairs, and Anastasia goes, where are you going? I said, see if I can find my ring. I don't know why her mom and dad didn't hear us talking, but they didn't. So I go up there, and I get on my hands and knees, and I'm like moving things around because I stood there. It's like I pulled the cookies out of my pocket, so I knew my pocket went inside out. I said, because all right, so it could have went anywhere in front of me. It could have gotten on the bed and blankets, or there's a little space. She has this zipper thing that has stuffies in it, and it's right there at her bed. I said, all right, so it could have been there, but there's this little spot, and she hits right there. So I was feeling around, and things fly and bounce and everything. I mean, this has got some weight to it. I mean, not a lot of weight, but of course, the stones aren't real, but it still has some weight to it. So I was like feeling around and looking, and something just goes, I just felt the spirit goes, feel underneath that thing right there. And I took my hand and went like that, and I felt it. I was like, thank you, Lord. You knew exactly where to tell me where to feel for that ring. So I came downstairs, and I had it on, and I went like this to Anastasia. She looked at me. I said, look. She goes, you found it? I'm like, yeah, I found it. She goes, where did you find it? And I told her exactly where. She goes, I thought that's where it may be at. So it's like, it was just so awesome. But I'm just like, and it's testimonies like that I share because, there's a spiritual warfare in everybody's family. So, and I'm just like, I've been praying. I'm like, sometimes I go, when, Lord, when? And she was just so proud of that and everything. And I just thought, thank you, Lord. Her friends and they did a Bible study in the kids' zone. Kind of like technically Bible study, but they were discussing things about unicorns. So, they shouldn't be in trouble because that's their free time to hang out with their friends to do stuff. So, and the class here in Ohio, the governor has signed it that kids can have Bible study in class, talk about the Bible, like in kids zones. In the brick and mortar schools, they have a time where a bus picks them up and takes them to a Bible study and stuff like that. So they can't get in trouble for doing it because the governor signed into law for it to be. And I think, I don't know, it was this year or next year or something, it will be into the classrooms. And here's a little secret. I was told not to talk about Charlie Kirk. They've the governor signed, our governor signed, where that will be in history classes. So I was like, someone tells you no, God makes a way for a yes. So exactly, I think that's so exciting. I am so thankful. Yeah, some of the stuff in the state is expensive, and the prices shouldn't be that way. But we have a wonderful governor. We're going to miss him because this is his last term. So praying for us to have another Republican governor because he's done amazing stuff. And of course, there are people who aren't going to like him, but that's just that. So I was like, this is so cool. I had to share. So yes, definitely we'll be praying for you, Karma. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Email me. I've got books, and like I said, I've been using that Mullen, and then research. Believe me, I got so many notebooks of I've been writing stuff down for years about what to take for fibromyalgia, what to take for pain, what to take for help with your teeth and this, that, and the other and everything. And I was just like, oh my goodness. I think I could be my own library. So y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank y'all for being here. Like I said, tomorrow is Thursday. We'll be getting the blanket together, and then I'll show you how to play tic-tac-toe on the blanket. We'll be singing again and looking up some more history and everything. But once that blanket is done, it shouldn't take me that long. We're going to do some cross stitching because, like I said, I've got the little gingerbread man done, and we got Santa to do. We'll hang them on the tree. So y'all have a wonderful and blessed night. God bless. Stay safe with it all. Love y'all. And we'll see you next time on Our Treasure Home.